to say on that, but again, that may be it, right? I can roll up to you after a huge game or something and kiss you on your forehead, boom, and it is what it is. But I can't roll up on. I ain't gonna do that anyway. I say I can roll up on your wife and kiss her after your
Well,
son has a great game. You're right.
hey, I tell you this much: when we at the Super Bowl, and we get that super powerful interview, man, you can dap it up and kiss each other cheek and say, "Man, we finally did it."
Yeah,
I don't
we
think
gonna
we gonna
celebrate
take
for
it.
sure, right? When we in Vegas at the Super Bowl, we gonna celebrate.
Yeah,
I'm kissing
yeah,
somebody. I'm kissing somebody.
yeah. I don't. But again, I'm not a part. I'm not. I mean, maybe that's a cultural thing. Maybe it's
Hmm.
just a soccer thing.
Good point.
Maybe it's a
Good
World
point.
Cup soccer thing, and the female. So whatever it is, their thing. They really want to put a big grasp and throw the hammer down on it. I don't agree with it. I wish him the best. I thought he did a very good job putting that team together. They going out winning
Yeah.
winning it all over again. And so, unfortunately, he won't be a part of that again for at least the next 3 years. And we already know that's basically a death sentence in those kind of jobs and those roles.
Yeah.
You're not going to be no one's going to hire you to be a GM after you've been in hiatus for 3 years. It's kind of going to be a lot harder to get back on board. So, that's just unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean we've
That's
seen
unfortunate.
how we've seen how the USA team has kind of fallen off after a couple of really good seasons. So yeah, we won't belittle it. We wanted to, like we always follow up on stories, so wanted to bring that one up to everyone. We got to give some shouts out, and we got to give some prayers, and we got to give some condolences to a man who he very rarely sat on the sidelines. Bobby Knight was out there when he was coaching. Listen, Bobby Knight would throw a chair at you. Bobby Knight would call you and your mama everything in the book. But the kids that played for him, they loved him. His peers loved him. Right, they respected him as well. But man, Bobby Knight was just a man, just a ball of emotion, and we lost Bobby Knight today at the age of 83.
Yeah. It's crazy because we both grew up in a time when NCAA basketball got big.
Yes.
Got popular with the Don Cheneys on his team and the teams he had with Isaiah Thomas before that. And then he was a part of the John Thompson era when they came up for Georgetown.
Yeah.
And when we started really watching basketball and concentrating on who was the powerhouses, and I used to root against his team all the time because I was a big fan of Georgetown. If they ever played Indiana or somebody, I would root against Indiana or whatnot and so on. But like you said, the players that played for him, especially guys that made it to the NBA, anytime they talk about him in glowing fashion, especially Isaiah Thomas. He thinks he was like the greatest, one of the greatest coaches, greatest things that happened around. So, condolences to him and his family. I don't, me personally, I liked his style of coaching. He was very passionate about what he needed to do. Maybe it go a little bit overboard, but he was always defending his players, right? He was lashing out either at the other team or he was lashing out at referees to protect his players and to win the game. So I will always be able to appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't remember Coach Knight ever having any problems out of the gym. Right. Again, I don't think I remember anything that him ever getting caught up in anything, any drinking, any alcohol, any drugs or whatever, or anything else. It was just him being I'm just going to call it passionate, just him being very passionate and emotional and throwing things out there on the court and trying to get his team to do better because he drove for excellence, which makes sense from a winning coach like that. But yeah, no more like that. There are no more coaches like that.
There's no more like him.
That era is definitely gone, unfortunately. So,
yeah, he was curses players out, cursed the other coach out.
Coach,
do whatever he had to do.
I had some audio back in the day. Yeah, I heard Coach. Yeah, he would say some things. Boy.
yeah, he cursed people out, man. But I mean, again, the players that played for him were so passionate about him and respected him and loved him so much. He was doing something right. I think he's a definitive of tough love. Right, he's going to give it to you all. He's going to carry you down and build you back up. And every player that I've heard that played for him came out better. They were a better player and better men when they left his campus.
That's cool. Hey, this is pretty cool. Tallboy saying he went to Coach Knight's camp while he was in 7th grade. He said he was crazy and told myself I would never play for him, although he was respected in Indiana, just not for me. Hey. To each their own, right? And then you fit into each system and that kind of thing. But yeah, that's pretty cool that you went to his camp back in the day, man. Appreciate you for being here as well, sir.
Absolutely.
All right, man. All right, so let's go ahead and get into some stories, man. Let's go ahead and talk about some things. You and I, again, we continue to have the same dialogue, continue to have the same conversations, and this one again, we may rub somebody the wrong way, but again, it's a conversation that we said was going to happen. If I had a crystal ball, if I played the lotto, this is 4 out of the 5 numbers right here, right? Because we said that this was coming and this was happening. We started having this conversation when it was the swimming, the person on the swimming team. Now, ladies and gentlemen, meet Becky Pepper Jackson, who is a 13-year-old student in West Virginia who can run, who can throw a discus, who is on this track team of her school. The issue is, I don't know if it's an issue or not, but the conversation is that Becky Pepper Jackson is transgender. So Becky Pepper Jackson and her family are now suing the school that she goes to because again she wants to participate on the track team as her newfound identity, and it's causing issues, it's causing conversation, it's causing concerns, it's causing questions for the most part. Where does Becky Pepper Jackson, this 13-year-old, fit in the grand scheme of things for competing at her high school track level? I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to let folks just digest that. I'll put the link in the description for the story. Montel, when we read the story, talk to me about what you think about the situation that's going on right now.
I'm at a loss for words.
Come on, you got to expand, brother.
I'm just at a loss. I'm at a loss for words because we told everyone this was coming down the pipeline, right? We said it was happening at the collegiate level, and it was going to trickle down to the high school level, and now we're seeing it trickle down. And I'm very, I'm conflicted. I mean, I want this person to be able to compete and do the things they need to do and participate and have fun. But then again, we've always talked about a biological male has an unfair advantage over a biological female when it comes to the athletics. It's just the structure is built differently. So why we no? If it was my daughter, my daughter's competing in that, and my daughter's in a competition with this person, and they lose. I would cry. It's unfair. It's an unfair justice. Unfair. We're not. It's not apples against apples. It's apples against oranges. So it's it's difficult. Now the part that catches us and that grabs me is that she's 13 years old, or
yeah,
she's 13 years old. So we're depriving a 13-year-old from participating in sports, which I think is a bad thing, right? So I'm very conflicted when it comes to that. Again, we've been talking about it the whole time. There might have to be a different category that they're gonna have to start to develop in colleges and high schools that allows transgenders to compete against other transgenders, because it's not fair in this aspect for just because you identify as a woman or female doesn't mean you biologically you were born a male. So you have still some of those physical attributes that are different and that are an advantage over someone that's born female.
Yeah,
straight female, competing at the level.
Folks, don't be afraid to chime in the comments, right? We want to hear it. There's no right answer. There's no wrong answer. We just two guys, two parents, two folks chopping it up, trying to bring and having these uncomfortable conversations, right? Here it is. Becky has been allowed to run on her school's cross-country team and throw discus and shot put on the track and field ever since the appeals court reinstated a previous injunction against the law back in February. So she, again, is going through I start thinking about the age. I start thinking about at 13 years old, she's going through all of this legal battle, right? She's going through whatever identity issues and crisis that she's going through as well. So, I mean, at 13, man, I wasn't ready to be dealing with a whole bunch of all this extra stuff in my life anyway. But just to have the weight of a legal case, to have a weight of trying to understand and figure out who I am and what I want to be, and have it all blasted out on MSNBC, have it all spread out across the world. And all I want to do, I'm just trying to be in her shoes for a minute. All Becky wants to do is compete on the track team. So I don't blame her for much of this. I worry about all of the the after effects and the domino effects of, again, of a 13-year-old now being caught up in the legal system, also being caught up in the public eye, being caught up, right, all of the things that are happening. And I just wonder, how do we help her with this? And I don't know if there's a easy answer to that.
I mean, you're right. There's pressures. I mean, you got to think she's 13 years old, so you're actually going through the hormonal transition, right?
Yeah.
Even when you're a boy or a woman, you're starting to your body's starting to change that at that age. She's dealing with that. Now she's dealing with that as identifying, opposite of her gender, as a transgender from a male to a female. So that's pressure right there. Being a teen is pressure. Being scrutinized as a teen is already pressure. Being double scrutinized as a transgender teen, it got to be even more stressful. And now the fact that, there's a problem with you competing in sports, the spotlight is on you. Everybody's pointing their finger at you, whether they agree with you or don't or disagree with you with the decision. So there's a lot of pressure on this young person.
Yeah.
Period. So dealing with that, obviously, me personally, probably someone needs to get professional help to be able to help her sort her feelings out, how this stuff kind of goes. But it has to just be difficult. Now you're on a world stage where your story is being told, and whether you like it or not, the scrutiny's coming. Regardless, agree or disagree, scrutiny's coming. People are battling for this. I find it very hard though at the age she's at.
Right.
She's at 13,
right.
That transitional age, man, where you're just starting to, puberty starting to set in, right? For a lot of kids at the age of 13.
Yeah. I mean, because you think about it, this was a whole different conversation because I believe the swimmer we was talking about was 17, right? And there's a there's a huge difference between 13 and 17, and just again the challenge that you go through and what you've probably learned in those 4 years of life and just what you've gone through. But man, at 13, man, that's just come on. That's too tender to be thrown out there to the wolves like this.
Kids are very cruel. Parents are even crueler, right? You're just at a situation, man, like I said, and the fact that you're going through all these, like I said, you're going through a hormonal change at that age. From between the ages of 11 through 14, you're going through these hormonal changes, and I think 13 you really hits you hard because you start getting facial hair, body hair, where you never had hair, and so all these things are just starting to change in a person's body. It's a lot of probably stress on that young teen doing what they're doing and trying to go out there and compete and trying to be a normal child, but unfortunately, you're put in an unnormal situation.
All you want to do is throw the shot put, throw the discus. All right, now I'm gonna put you on this. I'm gonna put you on the spot, and I'll put me on the spot as well. What do you think? And again, we're no one really to make this determination, but what do you think is the best course of action for Becky at this particular time? Should she? No, I'm not even going to lead into it. What do you think is the best course of action now that this is publicly front-facing news and we're talking about it here on Team No Sleep? She's 13 years old, trying to figure life out and just trying to compete. What should she do?
To me, I'd have to revert back a little bit because take it back to Little League, right? When Little League, you can co-ed, right? You can be co-ed. Boys and girls could both play on the baseball team and so on and so all the way to a certain age. We've had a young lady pitch in the World, the Little League World Series before to make it. So at the age of 13, I have to take that in consideration and maybe say let them compete because I think that's at the 8th grade level. But I do believe you got a 1-year window because when you get to the high school level, and so on, I think things have to be changed. She has to compete in a separate category and not allowed to compete with boys and girls, or if there's a co-ed portion where they can compete at. That's probably where there's got to be a draw line. I think when you're young, it's okay. And she's still at that kind of that age where you can compete.
Yeah,
co-ed pretty much so. So I don't. It's like I said, we're told in a fine line, right? And this case is going to set a precedence. Yeah, this case is going to set a precedence of what's going on. And like I said, I just can't imagine a 13-year-old having that much scrutiny and pressure put on them. Not only just to participate in something, right? Not only to try to do well, but just to participate in something and try to be successful in there when you got yays and boos, and probably more boos than you have yays, right, coming in.
So there I want to throw in, and again, I don't want to put nobody out there because I'm sure there's some fine people. I don't want to use that line because 45 used that line, and I definitely don't want to do that. This is in West Virginia. West Virginia is not Oregon. It's not California. It's not. I don't know. Right. It's one of the more progressive / liberal. It's not Washington State. Right. I mean, it's West Virginia. There's
Yeah.
folks with a lot of ingrained old school mentalities, which they're right. They can have their own opinions, whatever the case may be. But again, so just having those opinions and those folks around you can be, again, troubling for someone as well. Now, again, the age factor, I think, is playing into this as well, because reading the story, she says at school, her friends still treat her exactly the same. Her teachers treat her exactly the same. She's just a regular kid that just wants to play. So that hasn't changed at all. That, again, that's that 13-year-old thing.
That's a misleading quote, because you're not a regular team. And in the so-called lives we've been in, you're not. People can say it all you want, but when you're in that situation, you're transitioning from a boy to a girl. You can't say you're regular, because that's out of the norm. It's out of the norm. You're not being regular. Now, you may be treated regular, be treated by your friends right there, and people that's supposed to see you in that circle is the same. But let's not get to saying you're a regular, a traditional student at the age of 13 when you're going to a transition from a boy to a girl to a boy. That's not a regular thing. So I don't like that statement. Now, number two.
Who said that? I'm looking to who's. So she actually said that. So yeah, Heather actually. Heather. Who was Heather? Heather said, "Is Heather somebody named Heather said? Is that her mother? That's her mother.
I'm not sure. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, her mother's probably saying she just wants to live a regular life, right? But I mean, unfortunately, being under the scrutiny, under the spotlight, and people knowing you're not going to live the regular life. It's just not. It's not possible in today's age. I think it's funny when people say, "Oh, we want to just be treated normal and all that," but you're not, because you're not what we deem or defined as a so-called normal as of right now. Now, in the future it may change completely. It might be accepted, but right now people see it differently. And if you're a 13-year-old transitioning from a boy to a girl to a boy, you're not living alone. You're not living normal. You got way more different pressures on you than you do to just be a normal kid.
Yeah,
there's a whole.
And I also now reading it a little bit more. I wonder if mom doesn't actually have the full story, right? I mean, that's since mom is saying that, I'm wondering if she's not sitting at the lunch table. She's not in the bathroom, right? She's not at the library. She doesn't get the whole insight. So she may be thinking that and feeling that, and Becky may be coming home putting on airs. So again, I don't want to read too much into it, but
no. I mean, I think that's a good point, because the social aspect has got to be talked about. Yeah. I don't think it's just about sports. It's not about participating in sports at the age of 13, even though that's kind of what's driving us to this. But to say she's living a normal 13-year-old life, that's not true. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
I think the teasing's even more, right? Figuring out what bathroom you go to, figuring out where you dress out to go to PE. All that stuff is different now. It's changed within 1 year, because you're going through this transition and you're identifying something that's different. So you're not living the normal, what we so-called normal protocol of going to school as a 13-year-old. You're just not. And you can say it's fair or unfair. I'm not the judge or jury for that, but I'm saying don't quote her and say she's living a normal 13-year-old life, when I don't believe that's absolutely true. I think that young person has a lot of tremendous pressure on them.
Yeah.
And maybe unwanted. Maybe she did. I mean, maybe I really want to know who's doing this fight. Is it the child doing this fight, or is it the mother really wants to push her for this fight, for equality in this situation? Because the child may be like, it ain't worth it, right? I didn't really want all this attention, and the mom is fighting for her child to make sure this is a situation that gets put on blast so somebody can acknowledge it and make a ruling. She's in that sweet spot that we talk about of age. That 13-year-old, I don't see nothing wrong participating in co-ed, because we do it in little leagues and all kinds of levels where there's co-ed play. But that cutoff is when they get to high school. That's when the differential becomes boy and girl, because we already know that the physical abilities start to kind of distance themselves based off your puberty, right? Based on what you do. Person could be 5'1" when they go into eighth grade, and coming to high school 6'2", ready to go, muscled out, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's true.
So it just changes. So I think that's the cutoff stage, and that's where I think the Superior Court needs to figure out a lane and carve out a lane to say either yes, they're going to be able to, and then you're going to have a lot of scrutiny of a lot of parents. And if you say it's going to be the cutoff lane, then they need to figure out a lane for transgenders to be able to compete at the high school level and so on and so forth.
If two 50-year-old men can go through this long, detailed well, I don't know, you're not that old yet, but that's okay. If we can have this length of a discussion about this in concern for this young child, this young 13-year-old, I can just only imagine what it's like for her on the bus ride back home from school or the bus ride to school, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. dealing with this. Now you got ABC, NBC, CBS at the front door of the school trying to interview you and have a conversation. And again, all you want to do is throw the discus, throw the shot put, and hang out with your friends. And you want to become whoever you are. And there's nothing wrong with you wanting to become and be who you are, who you're most comfortable with. But it's a sad thing. It's a sad thing because there's going to be so much negative scrutiny going on about and for and around this young child. So this, again, one of the stories we'll continue to follow, but had to lead with this because, yeah, Montel and I, we told y'all this was going to be huge. This was going to be a big piece of conversation. A lot of legal folks were going to get involved, and it's only 2023 now. Wait till next year. We told y'all. Wait till the Olympics come through. Wait till the Olympics come. Yeah. We'll see what Paris look like when the Olympics start.
This is gonna get this story. Like I said, whatever the judgment comes out in the situation is gonna set the precedence to kind of be echoed around the country, and you're gonna see flare-ups of this situation coming up everywhere, where people are either gonna be against it or for it, and really fighting it out. It's crazy, man. I just feel bad for the young person. Like, you're already going through a situation where you're trying to transition, and now you got to deal with all this extra scrutiny and pressure. I wish them the best.
Nothing but the best. Nothing but the best. Situation. Yeah. So we'll figure it out. We'll see what's going on. Let's continue on. Let's be cognizant of people's time. I'm over here looking at the score because there is a game going on for us baseball fans. Y'all know we're in the midst of the World Series. The Giants didn't make it. My Astros didn't make it. But them Rangers are in there. So shouts out to Coach Bochy, right? He close. It's 1-0 right now, top of the seventh. Just saying, I don't know if you an Arizona Diamondbacks fan or you a Texas Rangers fan, but we game 5, and them Rangers are getting close. If the Texas Rangers don't do this tonight, and they mess around and have to go back to Arizona, Montel, tell them what's going to happen.
I think they're going to be in trouble then. I think that Arizona pitch
by that time, because I don't think people understand.
They got to go back to Arizona. They're going to be in trouble. I think they're going to be in trouble. But I mean, I will say this, and I don't know if it's just because there's no team from the West Coast in it. There's not been really a lot of hype about the World Series this year, at least from where we're at. Maybe the baseball enthusiasts, I'm pretty sure they're following strong and heavy. But normally it's like if it's somebody from the West Coast in there. I'm not saying Arizona's not from the West Coast. I'm talking about specific California. Californians are following it all day, every day, looking to see who home runs or not. This year, I haven't felt that same feeling.
There's no big name, right?
Yeah.
Longoria is in, Evan Longoria is in, but again, there's no Judge. There's no the Astros. There's no Yankees. There's none of those big names in here. And I'm trying to think of the pitcher for Anaheim, right? It's none of those folks. These are more niche teams, but the Texas Rangers been around for a minute. I'm cheering for Bruce Bochy, right? He used to be here in San Francisco. He's close, right? I think if he wins this one, he need to retire too, because Bruce been around for a minute. Him and Dusty Baker can just go off and chill, cook a little wine up. Because
they need to come over and be the Padres, man.
We're not worried about the Padres, y'all. We're not worried about the Padres.
We need a GM too. I mean, we need a manager too. So they need to come on over here, enjoy some of the sunshine, 80-degree weather that we have every day, and live out here in the Southern California.
What y'all need to do in San Diego is lower them prices for the tickets. Because the last time I was there and I tried to buy some tickets, I'm just gonna say on the street they was too expensive for what y'all was offering up there in those places. I'm just gonna call y'all out right there.
We got that sunshine tax. You got to pay for it.
You got some kind of tax. I'm just saying that. San Diego Padres, I don't even remember who you were playing. It was because it was when y'all were real low in the rankings as well, wasn't winning, and still charging hundreds of dollars just for some nosebleeds. Okay, see, we
So you trying to clown? We wasn't lower than the Giants.
Oh, and it
We weren't
shows
lower than
over,
the
y'all.
Giants.
Show's over, y'all. I'm gonna push these buttons, and we done now. Okay. All right, top of the 7. Rangers is still ahead 1-0. We'll see what goes on. We'll continue to watch that transition and moving back and forth. We already talked about the troubling, the social impact story. So let's get a little bit lighter, a little bit. Football. We always like to talk football, and I keep looking in the comments. I keep looking even in the back studio here, see if someone joins. I had a conversation with someone who's a New York Giants fan, and I said, I'm sorry. I pray for you. It's a rebuilding year again, but some things happening in football the other day. Primarily, I want to talk about them Raiders. I've never talked about the Raiders like this, but let's talk about them Raiders. They're in a bad spot. Their quarterback Garoppolo. He blew it. Garoppolo ended up getting people fired, and I think no, his performance out there. I know you want to talk about the coach too, and we're going to bring up who should be coaching out there for the Raiders right now, but just their performance out there. I know we're bouncing back and forth out, but just going back between different sports, looking at football, looking at them Raiders. What do you think about that team, that dynamic, and the fact that they came out just the other day and said, listen, we letting GM and coach go, poor performance because they just not doing what they need to be doing?
I think we need to take a deeper dive.
Where you going? I was sitting, but where you want to go?
No. I mean, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna say we need to take a deeper dive. What's going on? Because let's not forget, Tom Brady's a partial owner of the Raiders. Josh McDaniels and Tom Brady are very, very close. They're close. He was his OC through all those Super Bowls and doing all those good things in New England. For them to let somebody go mid-season in any sport, it's you typically don't do that. For Tom Brady to have the okay, and then the owner went and said, "I'm gonna solidify it and give him the slack and give him this pink slip." There's something going on in that Raider organization. I don't know if they said, this ain't working. We got to rebuild. And it always ain't all about play, because people losing is losing. There's nothing. The Cardinals is losing. That coach is not gonna lose their job. Mike Tomlin ain't won in the last couple of years. He ain't losing his job.
Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth.
So it's not about. It's not always all about losing. It's all about progression. And I think Josh McDaniels, every time he's been a horrible head coach. He's a horrible head coach. He's just not a good head coach. Wonderful coordinator. Offensive coordinator, he can do the X's and O's better than anybody on the offensive coordinator. But as a head coach, he was horrible when he took the job, I believe, in Cleveland. Went back to New England, ran back to New England, was legs between his tails, got back to the winning ways, and then got this Raider job, and he then ran the Raiders worse than Gruden ran the Raiders. Gruden was having a horrible run too. I just believe that he's not a very good coach, and that GM obviously wasn't that good of a GM making some of the trades and some of the deals he was making.
Well, he's the one making the decisions of who's in the locker room. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So he didn't make a good decision on what he's doing, and having to hold up with Josh Jacobs when he was the leading rusher. I think the last 2 years he was the leading rusher, or one of the leading rushers in football. Contract negotiations were stalling on him or going back and forth with him. They went ahead and got Garoppolo because they thought he could run Josh McDaniels systems like Tom Brady with it. Let's remember there's only one Tom Brady and will only ever be one Tom Brady. No one's going to be running just as smooth as he did. So, plus the game has changed since Tom Brady played. It's much faster, much quicker. Defensive linemen are much bigger, stronger, and more disruptive than they've ever been in football. So it's a tall task to run that same old offense against a defense that's evolved in the last few years.
So let me say this, and the reason I really brought this up is because I was looking at the body language, I was looking at the game, and everything that happened afterwards. The whole Davante Adams thing, right? The fact that you did not target that man at all much throughout the game, right? No targets to a wide receiver in the first half of the game. That's a problem, right? Because that man is out there. That man, you think that man is out there to make a difference, and he's getting paid to make a difference, and he's got the skill and he's got the capability to make a difference. And if you don't even throw the ball to him one time.
But that's not a Garoppolo problem. That's what you call, that's a plays to call problem. That's an offensive coordinator's problem. You're not calling the plays to target him. You're not calling the plays that go to him, but he's the number one guy. You throw to him no matter what. There are plays in the playbook where you say, I'm throwing it to him no matter what. No matter what the situation is, I'm throwing the ball. He's double. He can be quadruple covered. The ball is going in the air towards him. So when the OC is not calling plays that are like that because the OC feels he's either double team or the defense is doing something where he doesn't feel he can go to Devontae Adams, that's not a Garoppolo fault. That's an offensive coordinator fault. And the offensive coordinator was Josh McDaniels. He was calling the play.
Got him.
So it's all falling on Josh's hands. Josh is the head coach, but he calls the plays for the team. So he's the reason why there was no targets to him. Now, don't get me wrong. There's quarterbacks that check down that they can't get it to the receiver because of whatever reason, but it's because of the play call, the way it's designed, right? It's designed the way where Devontae Adams is running deep. He's getting double coverage by that time the defensive line is already on the quarterback. Or it's running the play where he's double covered, and my check down is if I don't see him open in 5 yards, I got to check down and throw it to the tight end right away. So it's the way the play design is called. It ain't because of Garoppolo, but I don't like him anyway. He's not that good of a quarterback anyway. He's so hurt pro. But the Raiders' problem is that their offense has been horribly called and done. He's living back in 1990s, and we're in 2023. All the defenses have changed. It's much faster. The game has changed so much more, and the Raiders haven't had any success. You already know who the Raiders coaches I think they should have been.
Who do you think should be out there coaching them Las Vegas Raiders? Shouts out to Coach Rich. Huh? I'm not going to butcher his last name. Coach Rich.
Coach Rich had those guys playing at an all high level. He got them in the playoffs. He resurrected David Carr to be somebody. Now he went back to his old self in New Orleans, but he had resurrected David Carr. He got those guys in the playoffs. He's playing really, really good ball. And for some reason, dumb Mark Davis decided to get rid of him and go get Josh McDaniels.
Don't know.
I don't know why. I don't know. To me, it was an inside job. They already figured out once they got Gruden out, somehow they was going to bring McDaniels on. It had to be that way because this man was coaching his butt off and had the team all bought in. And Raiders were becoming relevant again. Now Raiders are irrelevant again in probably the hottest market in the NFL, which is Las Vegas. They can't buy a game in Las Vegas.
Man. Yeah, tickets there are cheap. Yeah, listen, I'll buy the whole squad. Everybody come with me. I'll buy tickets to the Raiders.
You know, but you know what's crazy? What's even crazier about that? So think about this: the Aces are winning. The hockey team is winning.
Yeah.
UNLV football is winning.
They never lose. Yeah, I mean they always on top. Yeah.
Raiders can't do jack.
Can't leaving from one city to the other, and just like
they
can't get right.
You could have did what you did. You could do what you're doing right now in Oakland, and with everything would have been exactly the same. You decided to move it to Vegas because you said they were going to build you a stadium because you was going to bring a winning organization there. You signed the coach for $100 million who did all this racial comments and things. You had to fire him. Oh, Cameron bring the new hot guy on here, Josh McDaniels, and he ain't worth a piss. And Raiders, as far as Raiders Nation is concerned, you fired the man that was perfect for the job because you wanted to get rid of him. And now you're left with it in a season where you're 2-5. You're probably not going to make the playoffs again. Congratulations to Antonio Pierce getting his first head coaching job, getting an opportunity to coach. But he even comes with some baggage as well, right? All that stuff that was going on in Arizona. Antonio Pierce was kind of the fall guy. He had to get out of there before they did all the stuff to Herman Smith at Arizona State. Before Herman Edwards got fired. So it's man. I want to tell you personally. I mean, Long Beach Poly guy, when he played the New York Jets, was an All-Pro, great guy from California, great coach. Had a mishaps at Arizona State. Now he gets a chance to be a head coach in the NFL. I pray he turns it around. I hope he turns that thing around for those guys.
Listen, you right now. This is preempting. So we're gonna do a little call to action for what you gotta do tomorrow. So we preempting. Montel is big time. Y'all need to Google this man. ALLEN.
Whoa! But before you move on,
I'm not moving on. It's all connected. I'm talking about what you got. Your Fox stuff there. Because you all every week on Fox News. But go ahead. I'm trying to give you some flowers.
What did we say before we started on the air? I told you who's the next head coach going to be for the Raiders.
Man, you stop lying, folks. I don't believe this. But Montel thinks, and I'm gonna say it. He thinks. I can't even say. He thinks Jim Harbaugh is going to be the next coach of these Las Vegas Raiders. And I think the man has been dipping in too many of the Halloween candy. Come on. I know, listen, there's controversy out there in Michigan Shouts out to Michigan too, because maybe it's controversy from stealing signs. That's why they win and all.
Hey,
Okay,
oh,
let me
hey,
stop
so
it.
we got a 2-liter on it, right? We'll put a 2-liter of Coke on it. We'll buy a 2-liter Coke on this one.
I'm gonna take that note down, and there's the bet right there. You say that we'll
Jim
see.
Harbaugh will be the next coach of the Los Angeles Raiders. I'm in the Las Vegas Raiders.
That's huge, right? To think that, because if this, okay. So think if all of this blows over for Michigan and it comes, even though they are stealing signs, and comes over that they're not stealing signs, and if they get to a bowl like they're expected to get to a bowl, if they win, Harbaugh's not leaving.
Why not? Why?
He's already done the.
No, he's dealt with every issue in Michigan, and he was almost left 2 years ago. He didn't leave.
Well,
now it's coming to the time where this is coming up again. Jim Harbaugh is an excellent coach. He was good in the end. He was good in the NFL when he was with the Raiders. I mean, not with the Raiders, when he was with the 49ers. There is no reason. This is the perfect setup for him to come back into the league. He has a go-to target. He's going to be able to get a nice draft class, because you got to think, a lot of Michigan Wolverines are seniors this year. A lot of those guys are going to be coming out of the seniors on the Michigan Wolverines. I could draft a lot of guys from my old team that knows my system to bring them right on in. It will be a perfect fit for a perfect storm for him to get there, change the Raider organization around, and put a new stamp on it. He's a very intense guy. But Harbaugh's been a winner wherever he went. He has been a winner regardless. You can say what you want. He's been a winner wherever he's went.
No,
University of San Diego, to Stanford, to the NFL when he was in the NFL, the 49ers, to Michigan. Now he will be the next Raiders head coach.
Man, you tell a good story, boy. I'm going to make sure that one gets captured. We're not going to forget that. Hey, Shirley, you came just in time. Montel over here dropping some knowledge. He think we're going to have a whole
Jim Harbaugh, man. I'm on Team Harbaugh, baby. Team Harbaugh.
Going to bring them khakis back to California, not to the West Coast. Bring them khakis back to the West. We'll see.
Plus, man, you don't want to get out of Michigan. I mean, Ann Arbor, Michigan compared to Las Vegas. Come on now. I'm like, say what you want. I love Ann Arbor. I love it. It's all good. But man, to be able to come to Las Vegas, the Raiders.
I don't see Coach Harbaugh at the Mandalay Bay, but I do believe that he would enjoy the weather probably a little bit more. I don't see him at the craps table, but who knows? I didn't think that
I can see him in Top Golf. He'll be at Top Golf in all the boxing matches. I can see him there.
Truth. I almost said something. I'm not going to repeat it, but I almost said something about another coach. But I didn't.
I know, man. Don't go there. You be going cold. You be going hard on Urban Meyer, man. Leave Urban Meyer alone.
I'm not going to do that. But we'll keep it moving. Keep it moving. We'll see. That will be an interesting thing. They got to make a decision. They got to make a decision.
I'm going to hit you with another tip. I read something earlier today. They were saying they would offer the job to Deion, and Deion would draft his son as the quarterback to come to the Raiders. I don't see that happening. I don't. But that was one of the rumors saying that Deion would leave Colorado to come to be the Los Angeles Raiders. Las Vegas Raiders head coach, and he would draft his son to be the number one pick to come up the franchise's program.
Colorado got to win another. They got to win 2 more games. Hopefully they don't win.
Let's speak on that. I don't see Colorado winning 1 more game in the Pac-12.
Just as long as they don't win on this weekend, because they playing the OSU Beavers. So they can win every other game besides that, but I'm going to be wearing my.
They're not going to win no games, bro. Okay. None in the Pac-12. They're not going to. I don't see them. I don't see Colorado getting balled up. Don't get me wrong. Deion's done a great job. I don't see him winning.
I'm just quiet. I'm silent and quiet. Just thinking about that. You don't see him winning any more games. That's
not this year.
Wow.
Look at their schedule. Pull up their schedule real quick and see where they play. They play Oregon State. I think they still got Washington State, and they got one more team. I forgot who else they got to play. Someone that's good in the Pac-12.
Man,
I don't believe. What the way his O-line is decimated. His son is not getting the time. His defense. We already know Colorado's defense is horrible. They can't stop nobody. So with that being said,
O-line just needs help too.
Yeah. So I think pull up their last 4 games. So they got.
Let me see. Oh, those are already the games. Come on. So there we go. Stanford lost.
No, they played Stanford. Stanford beat them.
No, you talking about the last 4 games. They lost to UCLA, obviously. They lost to Stanford. They beat Arizona State. That's right. Lost to USC. But next is Oregon State, Arizona.
Lost.
Washington State, and then them
Loss.
Utah Utes. We gonna get Kevin Racy
Loss.
on here when them Utes. I just
Dude,
want to hear it. Yeah, that's gonna be a tough game
loss.
too. Them Utes.
They're gonna be that they I think they're gonna go 0-4, and I think they're gonna be short of being bowl eligible this year. And that didn't say he didn't do a great job. He did. Deion did a great job this year.
Came out hot. Yeah.
He changed the culture of that team. I think they're dynamic. I think they got some special things. But you're asking a tall ass for them to beat 4 top 25 teams in a row.
Yeah, the only team that's I'm gonna say Washington's. Yeah, goodness gracious. And I've been watching, of course, all the Oregon State games, and they balling. Not gonna beat Utah either. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard.
Why you going? If he's not going to do it?
No one thought they would win the first game against TCU. Come on, man. I mean, listen. Bro, if I had some dollars that I put on that game, I would have put on TCU. But they won.
TCU they caught TCU in the beginning of the year, but don't nobody know what Deion was going to come with. Everything was new. No one got a chance to figure them out. We're now in week 8. Teams have watched film and figured out what's going on, and is able to understand the DC's able to break down what they could do. Stanford broke the Da Vinci Code. Stanford's like, this is how you play them. You play them this way. They're ineffective. They got it. And what UCLA do, they did the same exact thing.
UCLA hit them hard. Oh my gosh, brother! I was actually feeling bad for Shedeur because UCLA hit them hard.
So you got 4 teams that are better than UCLA that are about to face them.
Huh.
They're not beating Oregon State, man. Oregon State is a good team. They're definitely not beating Washington. They're not beating Washington. Washington might be arguably one of the better teams in the nation. If not, they got a legit beat. We already know what Utah brings to the table. They're not beating Utah. They're going to be a mid-major bowl. Only team you might have to get to beat is Washington State, and Washington State is ranked in the top 25. And they can't stop Washington State offense. How are they going to win?
Man,
they're not. They're just not there yet. Don't get me wrong. Give Deion 2 more years to keep doing what he's doing. Everybody gonna be like he said. Get me now while I'm down. In 2 years, y'all ain't gonna be able to mess with me. I agree. I 100% agree with him with that. But right now, the way they've been playing, I can't see them beating any 4 of those teams. I just don't see it.
I'm in mostly agreement with that. Just as long as they lose this weekend, all the other ones.
If they put it this way, if they're gonna win a bowl, they have to win this weekend.
It ain't happening. If they go into a big bowl, it ain't happening. You know, it's a rebuilding year. If I got to suit up, I play a little wide out. But listen, I got to suit up and put on. But all right,
shout out to Deion, though, man. I mean,
yeah.
Props to the Buffaloes, man. They've done a great job this year. They've been very entertaining, and they're a good team. They're just on the rise. They're just young. They got to come up a little bit.
And they'll make it happen. They'll make it happen. So, and Shirley said, where Deion goes, so do the 2 sons. Nepotism. Yeah, I mean, Shiloh with that was a tough call about him being ejected for targeting. It didn't look like.
Now that was whack. That was a bad call.
It didn't look like targeting if you saw the game. But again, that was just that was a bad call. Bad call. But it is what that is.
Regardless of nepotism, I'm happy for it. Good, because other families do it all the time. And coaching the Schottenheimers and all of them have used nepotism all this time to get their kids where they want them to get. There's nothing wrong with Deion exercising his kid's ability to be able to get him to where he wants to go. Yeah,
you flashback when not everybody is as seasoned as we are. You went all the way back to Marty Schottenheimer and his family. Talk about.
Well, I could do them. I could have said the Buddy Ryans in the world, the Buddy Ryans and the Rex Ryans.
I said the Shanahans, right? So Kyle and
Shanahans. Yeah, they've all. Even the boy McVay. This is the coach of the Rams.
Oh yeah, Coach McVay for the in Los Angeles. Yep, that's true.
Yeah, so nepotism's been there. It's been there forever. It's just all of a sudden it's not that it's a problem, but it's an eye on it when Deion does it. So I think he's doing a great job. It's not like his sons are bad players; they're actually great players. Whether they were playing for him or not, they would be great players on other teams too. So shout out to Deion. It's all good.
All right. 2 more stories, and you didn't let me give you the flowers. So I'm gonna let you have your flowers. I want you to tell folks what you do outside of Team No Sleep, what you doing tomorrow, but I want you to do it on the other side of this call to action.
Oh.
This man was talking during the
Yeah.
call to action. I'm like, man, this is a show, right? We got to run
Oh man, sorry about
commercials.
that.
You know, we
No,
got sponsors and
every Thursday.
everything.
Yeah, I'm a little bit in everything. So every Thursday morning, I'm a guest on the podcast. It's the #1 high school football show, probably in the state, the PPR, Prep Pigskin Report in San Diego, which they cover all facets of high school football in the city of in San Diego County, which is I think they won so many numerous awards of doing it. And I'm a guest to be there on every Thursday. Me and my partner Ruben Pena, and we give our perspective on what's coming up every week.
There you go, man. Go ahead, man. Take them flowers, brother. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. That's Montel Allen. You know, he's not just for show and tell. He's actually out there doing it. But then also join us every Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, right here. Team No Sleep, social impact of sport. Now, a couple of good stories are going to end with. You only know about one. And I'm loving this pattern that we're seeing. Right, I'm loving the pattern of ex-athletes, ex-entertainers, minorities. I'm loving seeing Black folks coming into ownership, even though it's minority ownership. Like to see some more majority ownership. But here we go. We got Tamia. Y'all know Tamia. Y'all know R&B soul singer, and then Mr. Grant Hill. That family, that couple, joined the Orlando City SC ownership group. I'm noticing that a lot of folks are going into soccer.
Yeah.
Right. As opposed, and I wonder if it's the numbers, the dollars and cents of it, or are we really branching out and having more fans on the soccer, or is it? And I'm saying this all out, thinking, are folks realizing that soccer is the sport in everywhere else on the planet except for the United States, and trying to bring some of that here as well. Right. Soccer is so big everywhere else. Why not bring some of that energy, some of that crowd, some of that revenue? To the States as well. But, shout out to Grant and Tamia Hill, becoming minority
Absolutely.
owners in the Orlando City SC's ownership group. I think that's a good thing, right?
Man, beautiful thing. I think that I'm glad they got into it. I think everything you said and the combination, probably the profit margins, probably makes sense why you want to invest in it. From what they pay players in the U.S. to how much they make, as far as selling out the stadium and doing those things, it's probably a lot bigger than basketball because they have to pay the athletes more in football because they have to pay the athletes so much more. I love the soccer move. I'm just still waiting for them to get into that XFL, USFL arena where they become part owners. I think once we cross that threshold, I think it's going to be a lot more moving in that way and in that direction as well. But anytime you own something or buy something, salute. Congratulations to Tamia and Grant Hill. I think they're gonna bring that winning tradition to them. They've been great. They've both excelled in their career, so hopefully they can bring a lot to the Orlando SC.
Right? Yeah, it is. And it looks like they've already been longtime ticket holders for the team, so they've got some history with them as well. And we all know, a lot of us know Grant Hill, 19 years in the NBA, and Tamia, R&B singer, legend. Career, legend, like that. We all got her on the playlist. So yeah, shouts out to them. And like Shirley said, congratulations to Team Hill on that acquisition. So I don't know what other sport we could get into. Right, a lot of soccer. We saw someone was last week. We talked about Miles and his mom actually buying and acquiring a hockey team over in the East Coast. So
I think esports is going to probably be next. Another big venture where a lot of athletes are going to start owning more and more esports teams. I think it's going to evolve over to that way.
And I remember we had Gordon Hinkle right on talking to us in the esports and in the esports, especially from the college side. So that may be another good conversation for us to have with him about how that's picking up. All right, man. Exactly. We're going to end with one other story, and it's just something to make you laugh. I know you saw it in the news, but we live in California. Shouts out to California. It's expensive to live here. I'm just going to drop that on you. But our governor recently took a trip. Our governor just got back, as a matter of fact, from China.
Mm-hmm. I've seen this already. Put me on pause, man. Take me on the screen real quick.
What you doing? Oh my God! Okay, see how I come at him. He don't even know what I'm gonna do. Sometime I just hit him with these things, and he don't know. I guess go get your kids, go get your family too, folks. If y'all haven't seen this is gonna be hilarious. Tallboy, if you still here, I hope you watching. I don't know if you saw this story on the news, but it's going to be entertaining. So I'm just sitting here delaying until he gets back. Listen, let me chime this in and put this plug in as well. It's tough for us coming up with stories every week, especially because these are different types of stories. We're not always talking about sports scores. We're not always talking about what's flashy and things like that across each league. We always come with some tough hitting conversations. But if you've got something that you'd like Montel and I to touch on, let me know. Let him know. Send us a DM, send us an email, put a comment in one of the stories so we can make sure to follow that for you, and we will make sure that we're meeting your needs, because we're really here to be servants to the community. We want to make sure that we cover all the things that matter and resonate with you. I see the man
Man,
back in the back room. What's up, man?
Why'd you not see that shit? I see that story, man. You always, I ain't gonna lie, I almost went on myself, man. Because I seen myself there and I was laughing so hard.
Hey, so for y'all who don't know, Governor Gavin Newsom out there trying to talk about clean air, EV cars, trying to keep California relevant in the world. Went over there to China. Went to the playground. Governor Gavin Newsom said he went to the playground. He saw some kids with a basketball. He said, "Uh-oh, I used to play a little. I used to play a little horse, 1-on-1, little pickup. I think I can do some of these things as well. Lord have mercy. So let me show you what your governor did. Let me show you what
I
your
ain't
governor
gonna say, man. Look at this.
Governor out there. Here we go. He out there. Look at the little kids. Cross them up a little bit. Uh-oh. No. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Governor Newsom done just knocked the kid down on the ground. He need prayer. Look at that. Y'all want to see it again?
This dude. Wait. Let's hold back. We are the most expensive state, probably next to New York City, in the country.
Hold on. Oh my goodness, that's a fact. That's a charge right there.
And he over here running kids over in China trying to play basketball. We got the number one homeless issues. We got people coming in the country illegally. We got people that are sending their illegals over here to the country.
Yeah.
We got starving. And this fool over here shooting hoops in China, running over kids trying to play basketball, trying to prove a point.
Oh, don't my God. Cross him up. Look at him try to, when the man tripped over his own wingtips there. Goodness gracious.
And you know what's funny part? If you rewind that back, he was falling regardless if the kid was in the way anyway. Look,
he tripped over his own wingtips. Boom, right there.
Yeah, he falling right there. The kid just broke his fall. He was about to fall no matter what, which is crazy. And the reason why I said I was going to go because I seen the comedian was talking about it, kind of, you know how they do the YouTube narration things as it's going on.
Yeah.
And the dude was talking about it so bad, man. I was crying while I was watching it. So that reminded me of this. But yeah, this dude, yeah, bro.
Right.
This
he just need to go sit down somewhere. Here, our governor is over there trying to raise money, trying to build relations with China. Going over there, he saw some kids in the playground, and next thing you know, he just rolling over kids.
He right now in the hotel with an ice pack right now. He in the hotel with an ice pack right now and something on his ankle.
Because he knew better. He knew better.
But for real, man, I mean, all jokes aside, we got a lot of stuff going on in just our state alone, not only the world. And I agree with all from having fun and being diplomatic, but these are more serious times than us being out there playing basketball with kids right now when we got so many things going on and so many people in so much crisis that you're supposed to be helping resolve. Anybody been to San Francisco lately? It looks like a ghost town. It don't even look right.
Yep.
You know, and you're over and look at the perception. We got problems over here like this in the country, in our state, and we just had with the big fires just jumped off. They just started to jump off with the Santa Ana fires down here, and you over in China playing basketball pickup. Mm-hmm. I mean, and you're supposed to be our leader. And don't get me wrong, I voted for Newsom. I thought he was going to be a hell of a governor, but we got some situations that's going on here that needs to be taken care of, man, and that just gives you a bad look.
Yeah, that's the public scrutiny that he's getting as well around the halls of the state capitol, right? Saying, "Hey, man, we really got some other things to be dealing with." Yeah, I understand maybe the overall goal of the trip, but this is the only thing now that people are going to remember. You didn't need to be doing this. You didn't need to do so. There it is. I wanted to end with that, somewhat of a lighter note, but still bringing it back to what we do. Uh,
That ain't light, man. He
hey,
that poor little
hey,
kid. Hey,
Shirley said white man can't jump. Hey,
yeah, he sure can't.
he tripped over his
Not
own,
no wingtips.
tripped over them Stacey Adams is what he did, boy. I don't know if
Yeah,
he know how to wear Stacey. He probably wearing, I don't know, none
he wearing
bush.
something we can't, some Ferragamo or something we can't wear. I can't afford, so it's all good. It's all good. But
he
man,
got his
that's
own
just
red
not.
bottoms on.
Yeah, that's just not a good look, man, for what's going on right now.
Truth,
Unfortunately, man. But
truth.
I feel praise for that kid. I hope he's all right. I hope he didn't hurt the young little
Look,
man.
hey, if he was back here in the States,
He getting sued right now.
he getting sued today. Mama would have sued him. The little kid would have sued him. Listen, Gavin Newsom would have been out a couple of $1,000, but who knows if they're
Yeah,
gonna do that to him in China. Watching the game, middle of the eighth, the Rangers are still ahead 1-0. You still can't call it. Can't call it. It's too close.
That's like watching paint dry. You watching paint dry right now.
Yeah, you never know. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna go watch the rest of it. See if I'm celebrate with Bruce Bochy. But let me see. What should I say? Galen needs tips from what? Oh, Gavin in need of some tips from Obama. There you okay. See, I understand you shorthand there. There you go. Gavin needs some tips from Obama. That's right.
Yeah, he should. Yeah. Obama had a little game to him. Yeah.
Southpaw
Yeah.
with
He
his
had a
left
little
hand.
game to him. So
Macho,
hey,
take us
shout
home,
out to
man.
the Sac State and Warriors. Shout out to them playing tonight into those Clippers. I mean, the Clippers going against LA tonight.
Yeah.
Those will be both two good basketball games. But to close it out,
your Kings have lit the what was it again? Lit the beam. They've lit the beam a couple of times already too. It's brighter this year.
Kings gonna be all right. They're gonna be good. I mean, I'm a Warrior. I'm sorry, Sacramento. I'm known for Sacramento, but I migrated to the Warriors because I lived in the Bay Area for so long. But Sacramento's about, like I said, my 8-1B. I hate when they both play each other. I do. I hate it. But I hope they have a good game tonight. I hope Steph and them get it together because I'm gonna root against the Warriors because everybody counting the Warriors out because they got a little bit older. I'm root for the old men now to get down. So shout out to them. But definitely, as far as the show, thank you for everybody for joining. Like I always say, man, please reach out to some family, especially getting towards that holiday time. We never know who's alone, who's going through some stuff, who's going through financial stuff. Just reach out to everybody, make sure they're okay. Check up on your family members and check out on people on mental health. And always, thank God for everything that we do. And always, as we say, be comfortable with having uncomfortable conversations because that's how we learn.
We out, y'all.
Peace.